So today we're gonna learn about intensity. While the previous lessons, I already asked you to read about pitch, and then it is also still we learn about sound. Okay, so while the pitch refers to the sharpness of the sound, now we're gonna go to the next. It's intensity. Intensity, as you see, the definitions of the intensity of a sound is how loud the sound is. Okay, take a look at the picture of the cat that's screaming with the tools that make the sounds louder to the girls over here. So we read first the material. A loud sound has a high intensity. Loud drumming, the sound of thunder, and loud music from a speaker are examples of a loud sound. What is the other examples of the loud sound? Maybe when you are screaming or when you are singing too loud, it means you made a high intensity, while the high pitch is the sharpness. Okay, we're gonna learn about the difference with between the pitch and intensity after this, but we have to see the definition of intensity first. A soft sound has a low intensity. The sound of a person whispering, the soft humming of machine, and the soft chirping of a bird are example of the soft sounds. When you are whispering to your mom or when you are whispering to your brother, it means you make a soft sound. Also, we call it with a low intensity. Okay, so that's about the intensity of the sound. Now we're gonna take a look at the difference between pitch and intensity. Look at this material. A sound with a high intensity is not the same as a sound with a high pitch. Why? Let's take a look again. A sound with a high pitch can have a low intensity. Oh, that's a new insight from our lesson. For example, sounds made by a bird chirping softly or a flute played gently have a high pitch, but but low intensity. As you know that pitch is about the sharpness of the sound. Take a look at the example. So, sound made by a bird chirping. So, bird chirping is sound like a very slow or a very low. The bird chirping is not made a loud sound, but you know that the pitch of the bird chirping is very high. Okay, we take a look at the opposite. A sound with a low pitch can have a high intensity. For example, the sound made by a bass drum has a low pitch but can be a high intensity. As you know that the bass drum just produce a very loud sound when you strike or when you're striking the bass drums with a big force with a great force. Okay, take a look again. The sound made by a bass drum has a low pitch but can be a very or can be of a high intensity when the drum is struck very hard. Take a look at the next. Changing the intensity of a sound. We can change the intensity or loudness of a sound by an object if we change the force of the action that makes of the object vibrates. So the intensity of the sound that produced by the objects depends on how hard we strike or how hard we put the force of the action to the object, so the object can vibrate and produce a very high or a loud sound, which means a high intensity of the sound. Take a look at this picture. This one, when you strike or when you're striking with a great force, a loud high intensity sound is produced, while the other one, when you strike or when you're striking with a very little force to the bass drum, to the drum with the stick, you may produce a soft sound or the low intensity of sound. So what you have to do is now you have to take a look at this. I want you to check again right now. I want you to write down on your piece of paper or on your notebook to explain me about the causes a change in the pitch of sound or intensity of the sound. Before this, I just explain you about how to change the intensity of the sound based on uh, who is the producer, or what is produced the sound by the intensity, and then you have to take a look back on the page materials what causes a change in the first one is pitch of a sound, and then the second one is intensity of a sound. Okay guys, so I'll wait you to answer this question and explain to me. Have a good day everyone. See you again. Bye.